Who knows? Maybe next year, Tekken 20 could be at San Diego Comic-Con. You never know. I want to go ahead and segue because we're talking about comics, we're talking about film. I want to go into the world of video games. After coming off the E3, which we talked about very heavily, we also saw a lot of these companies trying to integrate motion sensor into their video game platforms. Now, we all know that when the Wii was released, there was already motion sensor in it, but now we see both PlayStation and Microsoft trying to integrate motion sensor technology, and quite frankly, from what I've heard, pre-sales haven't been that hot. Do people really want motion sensor with their video games?
I think it's just an extra step, and maybe they just haven't built enough need for it yet. I've seen it. It's kind of cool, but long term, is it something you want to do? The one that really gets me is where it's a dog, and you have to feed it and water it and do all that stuff, and it's one of those characters, and I'm like, dude, I don't even want to take care of the dog I have now. I got to take care of that dog too. Is going to pretend to run around. I'm like, no. So I think maybe folks are just busy right now, and it's overwhelming. Christmas will be the real test.
Totally. When Nintendo Wii came out, I remember I had a good time playing the Wii bowling, the Wii tennis. I mean, it's fun as a group activity, but I don't see myself interacting with that particular device in my house by myself.
Yourself, right.
Let alone on some of the games that, quite frankly, I'd rather have an actual control pad with. I know a lot of people were really excited about a Star Wars game coming out with lightsabers and motion sensor, maybe even a Legend of Zelda that actually required motion of the sensor in order to play the game. But the problem with that is how long is that going to last before it just gets tiring?
Well, when you said the lightsaber, I got kind of excited because in our household, when those lightsabers came out, that some of them vibrated, some of them made different sounds. Our whole family had their own lightsaber, and we would run around the house and fight each other. It was a lot of fun. But guess where those lightsabers are now? I really couldn't tell you. They're probably in a box or a closet somewhere. It does wear off, and there isn't that draw to come back to it once you've kind of lived out your little mini fantasy.
Definitely. So again, Microsoft's having their Kinect. I believe the PS3 has their own version. I think they're looking at pricing about $150. It's another external device you have to have probably on top of your already busy entertainment set.
With wires and...
Exactly. So again, I'd love to hear your feedback and your comments. Are you into the whole movement aspect of video games? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Or do you just not care? Quite frankly, from my perspective, it's not something I'm going to invest my time and money in. I don't know
At least not yet. I mean, the immersive quality could be fun, but it's just not there for me yet. And I think it will be, but not yet. So let us hear from you.
Definitely. And the last thing we want to cover, and we want to touch on because we've mentioned it in the past couple of shows, is Antenna Gate. Oh, wow. Okay, so...
Here's my thing. Stop crying, you big babies. It's like this amazing device. It's wonderful. It's fabulous. And people are moaning and groaning over this little... Get a bumper. Get a case. Settle down.
Or do what Steve Jobs says and just don't hold it that way.
Hold different.
It can't be that hard. Okay, so Apple's solution, real quick, if you have not caught up with the Antenna Gate situation, is that Steve Jobs actually had an event where he talked about the antenna issues. He, in a way, kind of said that not every company is perfect and not every device is perfect, which I thought was very odd for Steve Jobs to kind of backpedal a little bit, but I can kind of see where he's going with it. At the same time, their solution is they're going to give a free bumper case to everybody who purchased an iPhone 4, I think, through the end of September. Of course, now you don't please everybody when you do that, because now we're getting backlash of people saying that the case is ugly and that they're purists and they don't want that case on their phone. And it's like, wow, people, really? Are you that unhappy that a solution like this is not going to solve it? You know what? Go buy your own case.
Well, here's your solution. Don't get an iPhone. Okay, there's plenty of other phones out there. There's Blackberries, there's HTCs, there's Evos. Go get something else. It's a free country. It's a free world.
Something else, and we've talked about it too. Yeah. If you have a feeling that the first generation device is going to be an issue, don't be an early adopter.
Oh, and we've talked about
that a lot. We've talked about it before. If you're the kind of person who's not happy with something for no matter whatever reason it is, wait for the second gen. Second gen will work out all the bugs. It'll work out everything. Same thing with the iPad. iPad comes out, people gripe. It doesn't do this. It doesn't do that. Well, you know what? It's not going to cook your food and wash your clothes either.
It doesn't make me teleport. Oh, my God.
Wait for the second generation, people, okay? Especially now, us tech people, we're early adopters. We're understand.
Used to it.
Yeah, there's going to be kinks in the system, and you know what? If it doesn't get fixed by a patch, it'll be something that somehow, some way we either work around. But if you're one of those people that just cannot tolerate bugs and issues, Don't be an early adopter. Wait for 2nd gen. Enough
Yeah,
said.
it's okay. I agree. Hey, you know what? He's got it right there. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. We had a great time at Ooples. It's fantastic here. Once again, Zombie Jesus. Just going to say that through the whole thing. As a matter of fact, I hope that we have a Zombie Jesus running across the bottom because it's just so cool.
Yes, definitely, definitely. And for all of you out there who have not checked out our website, tekken20.com, we actually have an audio podcast every Tuesday and Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. We definitely want you to connect with that. We do that live, but we also post it on our website. We've got blog posts, and of course, we've got the backlog of all of our SV shows. So if you're interested about robot-on-robot action, digital STD, Skeletor's hot body, it is all on there. So make sure you check that out.
Wow. Well, thanks again for joining us. Want to thank our sponsors, Sweb Apps, C4,
Yeah.
Ooples,
210 TV.
210 TV, the guy who makes all the magic happen. If you like all that extra stuff that you see in the show, drop him a line. He's at 210 TV on Twitter, and let him know you appreciate it.
Definitely. So again, make sure you join us. We're actually going to be releasing this video on Friday. That's why you're watching it. But every Friday, we do have an SV show, and on Tuesday, we're actually going to have another audio podcast. We hope to see you there.
So for Tekken 20, this is Jennifer Navarrete.
And this is Louis Sandoval.
Reminding you
to get social.